What is going on, everybody? I'm back with another video. Today is going to be a classic review of the SOG Tomcat 3.0. Now, I reviewed this knife several years ago, but I had a really crappy camera and I wasn't able to properly show off this knife, and my lighting was, well, you guys can just look back like 7, 8 years, 10 years ago, and you can see how crappy my videos were. But anyways, today I thought I'd redo this review only because this is such a classic looking knife, and they don't really make knives that are this way anymore, let's say. But anyways, about the knife. So this is the SOG Tomcat 3.0, and this is the limited edition, and this is the Blems version. As you can see on the SOG logo here, it has a X inscribed inside the O of SOG. So this is what makes this the excuse me, what makes this the limited edition is the fact that it has carbon fiber handles. This also features the Sami VG10 steel, which I'm not really too sure if they really use this type of steel anymore. But this is a laminated steel. You can clearly see the delineation point here on the recurved blade. Quite a large knife. Now, I've never really truly carried this like I carried some of my other knives. Excuse me. Because it is simply so heavy. This knife is just shy of 7 ounces, which is quite heavy for an everyday carry. In fact, the knife is so heavy, it doesn't even include a pocket clip. It actually just includes a carrying case, which I actually don't have on the table right now. But it's just your basic SOG carrying case that has the Velcro closure, and you simply just slip the knife in and you carry it on your belt. Really large, about 5 inches long in terms of handle length, and you're looking at about 3 3/4 inch blade. So you're looking at quite a large knife, when this is not something that I would truly carry around with me on an EDC basis. However, I do use it. I have used it occasionally around the house, just to cut, just normal things, like opening a letter or something like that. I know, overkill. Maybe cutting some rope. But you notice I haven't really put very many scratches on this blade because simply it is just way too unwieldy to be, I guess, using and carrying. So for the most part, this was more of a collector's item for me. And again, because it was a limited edition, that's the only reason I picked it up. And it was for a much lesser price than it was online, since it was also the Blems version. Let's go and close the knife. You guys can take a look at it. This is the carbon fiber scales. It's nothing really like flashy like some of what Spyderco uses or whatnot. Kind of just looks like G10, but it's basically laminated. So there's carbon fiber on the top. I think it is laminated with something else. I can't really remember what it was. I'm not too sure if that was for cost cutting or whatnot. If I do open the knife up, and careful not to cut myself, you see SOG is milled out. On the liners here, there is a lanyard hole. Not that I think that anybody would be using it, but really generous lanyard hole, that is. It features the arc lock, which is SOG's proprietary lock or trademark lock. Works very similar to the Axis lock, but it has a slightly different, I guess, design. And we got dual thumb studs, generous amounts of hard cut jimping. This stuff is really, really grippy up here. And see how much of it takes over the blade. You can pretty much rest your entire thumb on here and everything will be fine. And it is very grippy, as I've mentioned. Got a nice recurve blade, nice usable point, kind of Bowie style. And on the other side, you got your billboard in here. Excuse me. Tomcat 3.0, VG10 Sami, Seki Japan. The SOG logo with the X, and number 305 is what mine is. So pretty substantial knife, and again, it weighs just under 7 ounces. Now this thing is a beast. Now, why would anybody carry this knife? Well, I'm assuming if you were to carry something like this, you'd probably be doing something a little bit more hard use than what I've been using it for. Well, mainly just sitting in my collection. But just to give you an idea how large this knife is, if I bring in, let's bring something normal. Here's a Sebenza 21, and this is a well recognized knife. Let's put it that way. And you can see it even tip to tip. I mean, it even exceeds how large the large Sebenza 21 is. And if I bring in the Umnumzan, the Umnumzan would be, actually it's larger than the Umnumzan, I just realized that. It just slightly, ever so slightly longer than that. So not a small knife, and definitely not for something to EDC. It's just way too heavy, way too large. But a very interesting knife, an offering from SOG, and I don't think they make these anymore. They also made a, like the non-limited edition, where I think they just use kind of craton handles, I believe, and it's a little bit cheaper. I mean, this thing was like, I don't remember what it was. I think it MSRP for like $400 or something crazy like that. I didn't pay anywhere near for that. I think I only paid $2 something for it, for the Blems version. But I just love the look of this knife. And I know, you guys know me, I like shiny stuff. And this thing has a lot of shiny, flashy parts to it, like the bolsters and of course the scales, and I love bolstered looks, and I had to get this. But it's definitely over-engineered. You can tell it has like the liners, the bolsters, the carbon fiber scales. It's got the full length back spacer. It's got the whole 9 yards going. So a lot going on with this. Let's do a little bit of comparison to the blade shape. So this is more of, I would say, like a Bowie style with the recurve and everything. And if you bring in other recurve, for example, the Kirby Lambert here, you can tell the recurve is, you know, it's pretty slim. Another recurve here would be the CQC 15. This is more of a Tonto recurve, and the recurve of these actually are focused more to the tip. I mean, not as bad or not as exaggerated, oops, as my light foot here. Oops, I need some room for the light foot. So I put the light foot in here. You can see the recurve is all focused toward the tip area, where this is kind of a more gradual, you know, more gradual curve. But let's see here. What else do I have on the table? Oh, actually, I should probably keep this one out. Get the Lambert out of the way. So the CQC 15 you see up top is the larger size CQC 15. I actually have a mini 15 here as well, just so you can get a sense of size of how large this really is. Now the mini 15 is more of an EDC size for me. I mean, I would happily carry this, despite this being quite a weighty knife itself. But you can see how much it just has a lot of presence. And the fact that you can't really slip this in your pocket. Well, I guess you could, but if you slipped in your pocket, your pants would be dragged down, you know, every minute while you walked. Here's next to a really large knife, which is the CRKT Nurktai. If I put this thing tip to tip, I mean, even this is larger, but you can see it just has like that kind of similar gentle recurve going on there. But anyways, so yeah, so this thing would really drag your pants down. In fact, the CRKT is much, much lighter because it's all milled out, and it is a substantially larger knife. This one, even with the pouch, I think with the pouch, it'd probably be a lot easier to carry around, but you know, it's a huge knife. Can't be pulling this one out in public too much and not expect to get any glares or looks, or, you know, people running away from fright, what have you. But yeah, definitely an interesting offering from SOG back in the past. I think I don't remember if I mentioned it, but this was released, I think around 2013. I may be wrong on that, but maybe even be earlier than that. I'm not too sure. But it is a classic knife from SOG. I don't think they offer it anymore, at least not even this, at least not this model. But I thought it was a very interesting look back in time compared to what knives that are coming out these days. So anyways, if you have any questions or comments, please leave it below. Aside from that, you guys take care, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.